We've known for a while now that Biden's caretakers have a continuous 30-minute timer for when he needs another diaper change, but Biden really seems to be a time bomb in of himself at this point. Within the span of a week, Biden has 5 major flubs on the table. As I'm sure you all know, not this week, but a few weeks ago, had January 6th hidden within it. The 2-year anniversary of January 6th, 2021. A day that will go down in infamy as being just as normal as any other day, because groups of idiots have existed and will always exist, and in some cases, they try to protest. The Democrats, being one of those groups of idiots that never really seem to find a way to stop existing, rely heavily on this concept. Biden couldn't even remember the day he was talking about, and to the left, it's quite important.
If I can halt for a second and just say to you, the impact, what happened on July the 6th had international repercussions beyond what I think any of you can fully understand.
July 6th, yes. Exactly as important as January 6th, or December 31st. No, that's New Year's Eve. That's different. That is an actual day. Moving on.
We also recognize the late U.S. Capitol Police Officer Billy Evans. His family's with us today. 3 months after January 6th, while they're still cordoning off the Capitol because threats by these sick insurrectionists continued to be profligated on the internet. Again, all America saw what happened. What Officer Evans was killed defending the checkpoint.
So the officer he's speaking of right now died when he was rammed with a car driven by a member of the Black Nation of Islam. Now, sometimes it can be tricky to identify if Biden is just lying or if he is just stringing together what few words he remembers in trying to form sentences, if he remembers what the word sentence means. It's always safer to bet on the latter option. Ooh, here's a science one, though. That's got to be fun.
For example, since August of last year, Customs and Border Patrol have seized more than 20,000 pounds of deadly fentanyl. That's enough to kill as many as 1,000 people in this country. 20,000 pounds of fentanyl.
So just to clarify, 1 pound of fentanyl is enough to kill almost 200,000 people. 20,000 pounds of the stuff could kill almost the entire world's population. Now, what he could be speaking of is our obesity problem and saying that people who are 10 times heavier than what is healthy might, absorb more of the fentanyl before dying. I'm not sure. That doesn't seem like what his message would be, but just to put it out there. Either way, it's untrue.
Well, President Harris led this effort.
For those of you maybe still holding out the hope that Biden is in fact alive and ready to take the presidency in 2024 because he's just the best. He basically just conceded the throne. I don't know if he's conscious enough to do this at this point, but he's just trying to slip in enough of those President Harrises until everyone accepts her as the president, and we just forget about this old dude, and then problem solved, basically.
And the failure to pass and fund this comprehensive plan has increased the challenges that we're seeing at our southwest border. No one knows this better than the vice president.
The closest Harris has been to the border is El Paso, Texas. I'd be willing to bet that I know the border better than Harris, just because I live in Arizona and have seen a map of the United States before, and I'm wearing a shirt with the general outline of the bottom of Arizona on it. My point is this. Biden is clearly dying. There's just no doubt about it. And President Harris will be all that we are left with. Crazy Eye Harris. Whatever her name is. But he manages to survive. If he manages to survive through to the next election, I think he might be the nominee. In the midterms, Republicans put up a bunch of terrible candidates. That's the only reason we barely won the House and lost the Senate. The Democrats, being the stupid group of idiots that they are going to take that as a sign that Biden is just the best. So the good news is, if we can push Trump out of the nomination, we might have a chance for a Republican president once again. And there's been more of a scandal for Biden. So a while ago, Trump was raided because of documents found at Mar-a-Lago, classified documents that he has the authority as president. Well, when he took them, he had the authority as president to declassify the documents, so it doesn't matter. But whatever it is, Biden, when he was vice president, took classified documents from the White House or the National Archives or whatever, and just stored them in his house. I don't know why, but he just took them and stored them in his house. Actually, I do know why. But what I want to first show you is him, admitting his guilt and also trying to find a way around it. But his statement was kind of delivered in a weird way. Biden is actually just reading. Like, he's just reading his statement right now. That when you're guilty, do you want to just like read, like, I did not kill that man. It did not happen. I was at the, what does that say? Bar on July 21st, 2013. Like, that's not how that should work. It really isn't. It's not at all convincing. And that just begs the question, what more is happening? We've also learned, however, that at the time, Hunter Biden owned the house that these were stored in. They were stored in a locked garage next to Joe Biden's Corvette. And the documents seem to pertain to things like Ukraine, which you might remember Hunter Biden has had some shady business dealings with. All of this seems kind of weird. But regardless, the Democrats don't have a better candidate. They have, I'm going to forget his name right now. Oh, yeah. They've got Pete Buttigieg, who, I think that's, there's an I, Buttigieg. That's how that reads. He's the Department of Transportation head secretary, who is famous for not being good as mayor of South Bend, Indiana, also being gay and taking months of paternity leave and nobody even noticed he was gone. They have Kamala Harris, who, as I've already mentioned, is crazy. They have Nancy Pelosi, who is also crazy and takes Botox, so maybe it's better. But they don't have anybody who's better than Biden. And that's not a good thing. It's a good thing for us, but it's not a good thing for the Democrats. So I think that's just who they're sticking with at this point.